Texture baking in Blender. I know, really painful if you try to do it using basic Blender, but thankfully we have people who are intelligent who write code and make it better. I'm here to show you how to use a free add-on to make turning procedural textures in Blender, which look very cool, but unfortunately do not transfer to other programs or, take up all of your RAM. So, I'm here to show you how to use this add-on to bake textures, which is in fact what it does. Now, I have this lovely train model for reasons, no reason at all, actually. Uh, and I did a 50-minute video on how to texture it. Uh, yeah, that video was not in fact about texture baking. I realized later. So here I am again recording just the baking, so that we don't really care about all of the texturing. However, if you so desire, please in the comments tell me if you really, really, for some reason, hate yourself so much that you want to watch a 50-minute video by me on how to procedurally texture uh, this kind of metallic bump and grunge and wear. Like I said, you have to be crazy. Anyway, now that we have this, as you can see, this is a fully procedural texture. Everything here, you can modify it. Oops. It's not an image. And if I exported this as an FBX or any kind of model file, except a blend file, nothing would be retained. It would not retain any of this. It would retain the material and the material name. That's it. It might retain the color, but that's it. So, I'm here to bring you Principled Baker, which you get from GitHub, I think. Alright, I'll stick a link in the description. But here, I know it's 5 years ago, but here is your Principal Baker by Daniel Engler. Enger. I'm great at pronouncing names, as you can tell. Please don't sue me. But yeah, so we are going to go up here. We're going to grab the code, download a zip. It's going to download. If you, for some reason, do not know how to install add-ons, you go into your preferences by going Edit Preferences, or I like to press Control, comma in the viewport, and you would search for the install button, which is up here, or if you're bad, unlike me, and have a add-on that re-adds this back since they for some reason removed it. Yeah, install from disk, click install, navigate to your downloads folder, download, double click on the principalbaker.zip. Pretty simple. Then, I guess, you come back here, search for it up, sometimes it auto nodes, and then you just enable it, Yippee. Sweet. Problem solved. Now, onto the fun part. So basically what the Principal Baker does is it looks at all of the inputs on this node. There are way too many, as you can see right here. Let me drag this down so you can see them all. There are way too many right now, but we only need some of them. Now, the relevant thing is it takes these inputs, say this base color, it will project it onto the UV map. This is also another requirement. I know it's so painful. I'm not going to tell you how to UV unwrap because that is like its own series of videos instead of its own video. So, yeah, you probably could get away with, just, oh goodness, what the? You can probably get away with, just, you project, unwrap, project, cube projection. I know that it won't work really well, but you'll get a nice UV map most of the time. I've done this ever so slightly custom, as you can see. It's not very good. But yes, this, just so you know, this is required. Otherwise, the Principal Baker will not work. Remember, it's something I had to figure out a few times before I realized I can't make an image texture without a UV map because the UV map tells the image texture where to go. So, now that we understand that we need to have 3 brain cells, which I do not, onto the baking. So as I was saying, this will project the color onto the bake. So all of these roughness input, the normal input, it will project those onto the UV map and bake them as an image. Now, if something goes wrong, and it's not the normal, you can always just link up whatever you want into the base color, and it will just output the color. I suggest don't do this. Just make sure you have everything linked up, because that way it will name itself. But if something goes wrong, you can do that. Now, on the right-hand side here, we've got the big bake button, which we're absolutely not going to press right now, because that would probably do nothing. Now, we've got the list of here. This is basically the list of all of these inputs, and if we select one, then it will read that input and bake it. Now, with nothing in the metallic right now, even though we've modified it, you could put the metallic on, because we actually have modified it to make it metallic. That would just output a white image, which is kind of boring, and most of the time you can just modify your material in whatever you're importing it to. Now, if you do need this, because I know some programs can't be modified, you can check that. But yes, only check the ones that you are using. Otherwise you will have way too many images, and like, that's just not fun. Why? Why would you do that? I can see myself doing that though. But yes, check all the things. See, I've got the base color, the roughness, and the normal. I have modified the metallic, but I don't really care about that. You can also click detect. It will automatically turn on. Oh, oops, I haven't clicked this. Oops, that's strange. Turn it off. Oh well, it's been strange today. Now, down here, output settings, bake settings. Custom 512, 1K, 2K, 4K. Now that's great. We're going to start with the 512 just to make sure that everything's working first, and then crank it up to whatever it is you want. I'm going to do 1K because I don't want to overdo it. Now we are going to set RGB 16, 8, sorry, for the start. 16 is when you go for the higher resolutions. We're going to keep it all samples 128. Nice and small. I'm not entirely sure what half of these do, but we only need this to get our images out. Alrighty, now we have all of these. Go in here. I've already set my my baking location, so you know, go look through your 1,000 folders and find yourself a image folder where you can stick your textures, because yeah, you want to find them again, because oh, the days of baking images to somewhere that isn't anywhere. And now, when you are not in render view, you can click on bake. Now, an important thing to know, I have actually got multiple materials assigned to this train. As you can see, I've got the red, I've got the black, I've got the gold, and I've got the other black, which is the black without the shiny bit. Now, it's interesting to note, as long as these are all plugged into a principal BSDF, it will bake all of them at once onto one image. So it will separate all of them by, I've assigned the material to these pieces. So it will actually only bake the red material onto that one, and it'll bake the black onto this one. So you don't have to worry about baking each of these individually, and then, going back in and doing this and that, and yada, yada, yada. So you can literally just click bake. Now, it is important to note, Blender will freeze. That's fine. Think of it like Eevee rendering. It's just going to take a little while. So yeah, I'm going to get back to you once it's done. Okay, I'm back. Something went sideways, and it decided to render the roughness first. But don't worry, I fixed it. Most of the time that won't happen. You should be fine. As you can see now, it has rendered out a image texture of all of the color. This is the base color for our train. That's pretty good, considering what we want. We actually got what we want. It's rare in 3D. There you go. It's going to render out the roughness. And there we go. Roughness. That's pretty good. Now, the ultimate test. Does it actually work? Now, let's go in here. Let's duplicate our train. I'm going to delete everything. Open up the render view so we can see it. Go here, new one, Control-Shift-T to add in a PBR texture. I'm going to locate that train bakes folder here. Select all of those. And would you look at that? If we crank the metallic all the way up, we now have a baked texture of that other procedural texture, but they're all image textures now. That's pretty good. Now, as you can see, it is quite low res. That's because it's the 512. Like I said, this is a preview, just so you can, it works like it didn't for me before. But yeah, So I'm going to crank this up to a much higher value now. I'm going to go up to the 1K, and I'm going to go to, actually I might go to 2K, why not? I'm going to have to turn off OBS while I do this because OBS decides to use 50% of my GPU. Yes, crank it up to RGB 16. PNG's better. You could go for OpenEXR if you really want that super high quality. I would not suggest. You'd probably be fine with a 4K PNG. But yeah, I'm gonna render this out real quick. I'm gonna crank the samples up to, oops, that's a little too much, 256. And I will get back to you once this is rendered out. Alrighty, we're back, and I have in fact rendered out these in 2K. So they are nice, high quality, crisp textures, all from Blender's procedural system. That's pretty good, if you ask me, because these nodes, they take up like a whole bunch of processing power, especially in Eevee, to load up. Like if I boot up Eevee now, you're gonna see it compile shaders for quite a lot. Well, it's already compiled them because I've opened it up before. This will compile for about 45 to a minute and a half. So yeah, there are definitely upsides to having an image texture setup, which will just instantly do it. Look at that. Now, yes, I know it isn't perfect, but to be honest, you can't really see it that much. Unless you're sticking your face into it, you know? And even if you are, you could probably go to 4K, you know? It depends on what you want to do. But yeah, that is texture baking in Blender. Yeah, that's it for now. If you really want that 15-minute video on how to make this, only using procedural textures, by the way, no images, yeah, you can, in fact, go and watch another YouTube video, because I really do not want to edit 50 minutes. But if you really want it, I'll do it. Yep, alright, bye.